Hello, Marians! Welcome to the second part of our library instruction. I am Miss Clarice Advincula, your school librarian, and the topic that I'll be discussing today is about the types of information sources. So, since na-discuss na natin last time sa previous topic natin yung ways to evaluate online information, ngayon babalik naman tayo sa library. I-discuss ko ngayon yung different types of resources na makikita natin sa library and kung paano ba natin mamamaximize yung uses ng mga resources na yon. So, bago tayo mag-start, let's have a quick recap on what we have discussed last time. So, last time, we discussed about the criteria of evaluating online sources. We talk about the importance of evaluating online sources and the criteria that we have to consider, as well as the ways to evaluate websites. And yes, importante po na i-evaluate muna natin yung online information bago natin siya i-cite sa research or assignment natin. These days, mostly lahat ng transactions natin is ginagawa using internet. And there may be free and widely available information on the internet these days. However, this also means that the online information may not always be credible because anyone can, without any supervision, can access, edit, or put up a web page. But how can we tell if the information is credible? The next step to do is to use CRAP to avoid the crops on the internet. CRAP stands for currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. C is for currency. Currency pertains to the timeliness of the information and if it is current enough for your topic. Kailan ba na-publish yung information? Kailan ba siya huling na-revise? Or na-update? Alam naman natin na nagbabago yung information frequently, kaya i-consider muna natin kung makakapekto ba yung timeliness niya sa usefulness ng information. And usually po, yung date of publication is naka-indicate sa bottom part ng website. So, tingnan nyo. Or check nyo muna kung recent ba yun, kung useful ba siya or timely ba siya dun sa kailangan nyo. Then R is for relevance. Relevance. Relevance is the importance of the information to your context. Ano ba yung scope or coverage ng information? Masyado ba siyang narrow or sophisticated? Related ba to sa assignment mo? Nasagot ba niya yung research questions mo? I-consider natin mabuti kung mamimit effectively ng information na yon yung questions natin. And please keep in mind din po na hindi po lahat ng credible information is appropriate sa questions natin. Pwedeng intended pala siya for professionals or for higher grade. Next is, the first A is for authority. Author. Author is the responsible of the work. Author could be an organization, a group, or a person. Sino ba yung author? Ano ba yung background or affiliation niya? Like, saan ba siya nag-work? Ano ba yung credentials niya? Doctor ba siya or professor? Importante din po na i-consider natin yung kung sino yung si author. In that way, malalaman natin kung ano yung level of expertise niya or kung qualified ba siya na mag-produce ng content sa topic na yon. Usually po, makikita yung information ni author dun sa section na about or about us. Second A is for accuracy. Accuracy pertains to the reliability or correctness of information. Tama ba yung information? Meron bang supporting evidence dun sa argument ni author? Meron bang links, sites, or bibliography provided? Kung meron, natatrack ba siya? Tingnan po natin kung merong maling spellings, punctuations, or grammar. Please make sure din po na supported yung information na yun ng potential sources, either a links, sites, data, or printed resources. I-check din po natin kung verifiable ba yung links, kung existing ba siya or natatrack. And last but not the least, P stands for purpose. Purpose is the reason the information exists. Bakit ba nag-exist yung site or information na yon? Ano ba yung intention ni creator? Bakit ba niya create yung site? Are they selling you something? Is the information a fact or opinion? Or is it created to teach and inform? So, isa po sa mga ways para ma-determine natin yung purpose ng site is to check the last 3 letters of the URL called domain. Example po niya is .com, .org, .edu, or .gov. The sites within .com are commercial websites which are intended to entertain, to sell a product, or to make money in some ways. Unless yung site na yun is known or trusted. And the sites within .org domain are organizational websites, which are more likely credible. Pero may ilan ding organizational websites na nag-a-advocate ng strong point of view or to influence. While the edu and .gov websites are educational and government websites, which are potentially credible. The information from these sites must be examined very carefully before they get published. So, iyan po yung summary ng diniscuss namin last time. So, let's move on to our next topic. Babalik naman tayo sa library and i-discuss natin yung yung different types ng information sources na makikita natin sa library and kung paano ba natin ma-maximize yung uses nito. At the end of this session, you will learn how to find different information. You'll also understand the different types of information sources. And you'll be able to maximize the use of informations in the library. So bago po ang lahat, ano nga ba yung information sources? Information sources are the source of information for somebody. It could be anything that provides information to somebody. Information sources could be people's speeches, documents, pictures, organizations, or etc. So, ito po yung types ng information sources na makikita natin sa library. We have books, reference books, and periodicals. And ano nga ba yung mga functions nito? So, here's the type of information sources. We have books, and they can be classified into 3. We have trade books, scholarly books, and educational books. We also have reference books and periodicals like magazines, newspapers, and journals. So what are trade books? Trade books are those books that are published for commercial use, that are intended for general public or general audience. Ibig sabihin, pwede po siya kahit kanino. Yung trade books po is create siya for commercial use, for entertainment, or for pleasure reading. Ibig sabihin, pwede nyo po siyang gamitin pag free time or pag gusto nyo malibang, and hindi lang yan. Ang trade books ay para sa lahat. Ang example ng trade books ay fiction books, novels, travel guides, cookbooks, coloring books. And meron po tayo niyan sa library. Next is scholarly books. Those are the books that are written by scholars and published for research or academic study. So itong mga books na to ay published within the university or institution. Unlike trade books na pwedeng gamitin for entertainment and intended siya for general audience, yung scholarly books ay intended for study or research. And sinulat siya ng mga researchers, intended for researchers. Ito yung example niya. Third is educational books. Educational books are produced to meet the demands of the learner. It contains instruction, activities, and exercises. So, ang educational books po at scholarly books ay magkaiba. Ang scholarly books ay intended for research, while the educational books are supplementary like textbooks. So, yan po yung example ng educational books. So, now, let's move on to the next type. Reference books are those books that contains alphabetical or reference books are those books that are intended for occasional consultations. So, madalas, ginagamit po yung reference books para mag-locate ng brief bits of information. One of the types of the reference books is dictionary. Dictionary is a source that contains alphabetical list of words with their definition. It is either expressed in the same or another language. Kung meron kayong ma-encounter na unfamiliar words, pwede kayong gumamit ng dictionaries. Second is Thesaurus. Thesaurus is a type of reference that contains lists of synonyms and antonyms of a word. It is used to locate related words or to express an idea in an appropriate and in most suitable manner. For example, gusto nyo pong gumamit ng ibang word bukod sa word na yon, pwede kayo gumamit ng thesaurus. And nakakatulong rin yung thesaurus para ma-enhance po yung vocabularies nyo. Then, next is Encyclopedia. Yan po yung example ng thesaurus. Yan po yung contents. Merong related words, synonyms. Kagaya po ng ito po yung mga example. Next is Encyclopedia. Encyclopedia is a type of reference that contains the summary of human knowledge from all branches of studies or particular part of discipline. Naka-arrange din po siya in alphabetical entries, pero unlike dictionaries na nakapokus sa linguistic information about words like definition, ang encyclopedia po mas detailed and nakapokus siya sa factual information concerning the subject. Useful siya kapag kailangan nyo ng background or overview about particular topic. Next is Atlas. Ayan po yung sample ng content ng encyclopedia. Next is Atlas. Atlas is a geographical reference containing an organized collection of illustrated maps and it shows geographic features like topography of an area, political boundaries, and statistics. Some atlas also contains facts and history of a certain place. So, kapag kailangan nyo po ng reference or information about place, pwede po kayong gumamit ng atlas. So, ito po yung mga example ng laman ng atlas. Next po is Almanac. Almanac is an annual publication that lists set of events for the coming year. It also contains statistics, astronomical data, weather forecasts, fact, and trivia. So, ito po yung sample ng content ng Almanac. Next is directory. Directories contains an organized list of people or organization. It is used to find an organizations, their addresses, and other information within the particular category of that directory. So, for example po, meron kayong concern dun sa particular organization or company and kailangan yung makausap yung isang representative doon. Pero wala po kayong contact or any way para ma-reach yung taong yun, pwede po kayong mag-rely sa directory nung particular organization na yun. So, ayun po yung sample ng directory. Hollywood Producers Directory. So, yung mga Hollywood producers na dyan po naka-indicate or nasa loob po yung mga details nila, information. So, let's move on to periodicals. Periodical sources are the type of publication that are published periodically on a regular intervals. Example po niya is magazine, newspapers, at journal. So ano nga po ba yung magazines? Magazine is a type of publication intended for general or popular interest. Yung magazine po, usually ang laman niya is current trends, photographs, and advertisements. Intended siya for commercial use or entertainment. Pinapublish din po siya on a regular intervals like twice a month, monthly, or twice a year. Next is newspapers. Newspaper is a type of periodical publication containing current news and events. So kapag gusto nyo magkaroon ng update about current news, you can use newspapers. Pinapublish din po siya periodically on the daily basis. So, journal. Journal is a periodical publication that are written by scholars in a particular academic or discipline. It undergoes peer review process. So, yung type po ng periodical na to, intended siya for research or academic use, unlike magazine and newspapers na intended for general audience. Yung journals po, intended po siya for professionals or experts on particular discipline. yeah, those are the types of information sources that you can find in the library. And that would be all for today. Sana po may natutunan kayo, and pakisagutan po yung evaluation form na nakaprovide po dun or uploaded na po sa Aralinks or LMS or Aralinks accounts nyo. So, thank you!